Vasitagiri samam syat kajjalam sindhu patri Suraturvar shakha lekhani patra murvi Likhati yadi gritva sarda sarvukalam Tadavita bhugunanam isha paramnayati Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti from Shiva Mahimna Stotram. Oh Lord, if the blue mountain be the ink, the ocean, the ink pot, the biggest branch of the celestial tree, the pen, and the earth, the writing leaf, and if, by taking this, the goddess of learning writes forever, even then, the limit of your glory can never be reached. Peace, peace, peace be with all. This morning our subject is Thoughts on the Gita, part 115. We are starting the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Purushottama Yoga. Gita is called Moksha Shastra, which brings liberation to human beings. There are many beautiful eulogies in the Bhagavad Gita. Gita Ganga cha Gayatri, Govinde Hridisthite, Chatur Kakara Samyukte, Punarjanmana Vidyate. Gita, the scripture. Ganga, the holy water. Gayatri, the mantra. Govinda, Krishna. Those who carry these four Ga in their hearts, they will be never to subject to rebirth. Means they will be liberated. Another beautiful analogy of the Gita. Gita Sugita Kurtebhya Kimanne Shastra Vistari Yasvayam Padmanabhaisya Mukhapadmad Vinishrita. What is the necessity of reading innumerable scriptures? Gita alone can serve this purpose. So all these scriptures are not necessary. Only Gita is enough. Gita is the medicine to get rid of grief and delusion, confusion and depression. It is the boat for those who want to cross the ocean of Maya. Gita is the instrument to see one into many. Gita makes the weak strong, fearful, fearless, lazy, enthusiastic. It breaks the delusion of the deluded and awakens the inner consciousness. It cuts the attachment by the soul of non-attachment and releases the soul from bondage. That is my comment about the Gita. Sometimes people ask that why should we read the scriptures? When we are lost, somebody should come and guide us. In the beginning, our parents guide us. In school, colleges, our teachers, professors guide us so that we can attain the fulfillment. So we need who can guide us. Gita does that job. which is very helpful. And the guide of the Gita is not an ordinary person. He is not an ordinary guru or a yogi or a Baba. Yaswayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmad Vinishrita. This Gita has come from the lips of the leg of Padmanabha, Vishnu, the great God. So his instruction is infallible, very effective. For that reason, the householders, the monks, everybody studies the Bhagavad Gita. Ajnatam Gyapakam Shastram, the thing which we cannot know, our scripture, makes us know those unseen, the mysterious things which through our senses, through other means we cannot say it. Moreover, they call it Shastra Kripa. There are 4 kinds of grace. Ishwar Kripa, God's grace. Shastra Kripa, the grace of the scripture. Atma Kripa, grace of yourself. Guru Kripa, grace of the Guru. So we get grace from various sources. And this grace opens our eyes, Jnana Chakshu. That Krishna will tell to Jaya. Jnana Chakshusha. With those eyes, the divine eyes, we can see, which we cannot see in other ways. Moreover, Krishna mentions in the Gita, Tasma Shastram Pramanam Te Karja Akarja Vyavasthito. What is duty, what is not duty, what is right, what is wrong? Who will decide? Shastra. The scripture will tell us, this is right, this is wrong. Some egotistic people, those who are extremely learned, worldly, of course, the worldly learned, many very egotistic. They do not care for God, they do not care for scriptures. And they do not cultivate the values of human life. The scripture provides those values. What are those values? Truthfulness, then simplicity, patience, self-control, non-attachment, devotion, compassion, and other noble qualities, divine qualities that we shall read in the 16th chapter of the Gita, the divine qualities. Those qualities are like ornaments. They make human beings beautiful. Physical beauty is not everlasting. After 40s, 50s, beauty vanishes. Slowly. We know it. We see it. But this spiritual beauty never diminishes, never vanishes. So the scripture helps us to unfold that inner beauty. And without these values, human life is full of misery. Some people, through lying, through cheating, they can make money, but that doesn't make them happy. For the reason, in every religion, they talk about moral, ethical, spiritual values, and one should cultivate. Gita teaches that. The values of life. I was thinking, suppose you are, last whole year we are confined in this house. Suppose you are banished or you are in an island for whole life. How will you pass your days? You are alone, there is nobody. And you are asked that you can carry 2 books with you. What books will you carry? 2 books. Gita and the Gospel of Ramakrishna. That will provide enough food for your whole life. Gita and the Gospel of Ramakrishna. Now we shall start the Gita, verse 8. I was thinking, we are starting the Purushottama Yoga. Krishna is telling, look who is Purushottama. I am the Purushottama. That we are going to study today. You see, we are human beings. Our buddhi, intellect is very little. With that little intellect, we cannot comprehend the infinite God. So when we realize God, we realize through His grace. And if you want to realize God, you will have to know Him. How can I know Him with my little intellect? That is the reason Krishna says, I am telling you who am I. I am Purushottama. I am that Supreme God. And you people are the parts, like fire and Jesus sparks. We are all the sparks of that divine being. So Krishna is telling, look, you are a jiva, no doubt. You are human beings. But you are eternally connected with me. You are not aware of it. That is the reason you have all problems, suffering, mental problems, depression, because you are not connecting yourself with me. You are separating yourself from me through your ego. Connect the ego with me. Mayeva manadhatsa mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayeva ta urdhamna samshaya. Fix your mind in me. Hold me with your intellect. Then you will live in me. Do not doubt about it. Krishna mentions in the 12th chapter of the Gita. And if you surrender yourself to me, I shall take care of you. I shall protect you from all sins, all bad things you have committed in your life. Just surrender, surrender. Sharanagata. What a beautiful and hopeful advice to human beings. That is the introduction. Verse 8. Shariram, verse 7, Krishna said, an eternal portion of myself, having become a living soul in the world of the living, draws to itself from external nature the 5 senses with mind for the 6. Krishna mentioned that you are part of me, my mama Angsha. Angsha, Angshi, we discussed about it. Vedanta, according to Vedanta, it is called Pratibimbavad, reflected method. Here is the sun and here is the mirror. You check the reflection of the mirror, the reflection of the sun, and move around. That we are doing, every human being. With our mind camera, we are taking that consciousness, cosmic consciousness. This cosmic consciousness is reflecting on our mind. With that reflected light we are functioning. That is the gospel truth. If you have a good reflection, if your mirror is very clean, your reflection is good. If you have dirty mirror, your reflection is bad. Some people have very thick dust, which is reflecting, but it is not coming around. They are tamas. They become cruel. Their Atman is buried under that dust. Maya, tamas. It is all, this is the truth. Anyhow, verse 8. Shariram yadavapnoti jatchaupyutkramotishvara grihitvaitani sangyati vayurgandhan ivashayat. When the Lord obtains a human body, here Lord means Jivatma, individual soul, and when he leaves it, he takes the senses and mind and goes as the wind takes the scent from the seeds, the flowers. Vayurgandha ivashayat. It is a beautiful, beautiful analogy. The wind is blowing. We see those garbage, those barrels are there. When the wind blows over that, we get bad odor, garbage odor. Same wind when it blows over the flower garden, beautiful roses, we get rose smell. Jasmine smell. You know, it is amazing. But air is unaffected. It is carrying the odor or the fragrance and blowing. So Krishna says, when a human being departs from the body, he takes all his samskaras, karma. They are invisible, but you can see they are going. That is a mystery. I remember in our Vedanta class, our teacher was giving an example. This question came. Like how the samskaras go from one body to another body. He said, look, take a rose, squeeze it, throw away. And then you smell your hand, rose smell is there, but no rose. The fragrance is with your fingers. Similarly, this mind, take all samskaras, all karma, all knowledge, and departs. Invisible, you cannot see them. What a beautiful analogy. Jagabal says in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, what will go with us? Vidya, karma, purva prigya. Vidya, knowledge. Good and bad. Whatever you have learned this life, they will go with you. Karma, good and bad, they will go with you. Purva prigya, your previous life samskaras, they will go with you. Money, husband, wife, children, car, home, nothing will go with you. This subtle body is a mystery. Vedanta explains it very well. This gross body will go to hell. It will be ashes in the crematorium. This subtle body reincarnates. But the subtle body cannot take another body if it is illumined. The Vedanta scripture calls it Bhurjita Bija, fried seed. I remember in our village they used to fry peanut with shell. With sand they will roast the peanut that they used to sell. Then those peanuts, those who are roasted, fried, they cannot germinate because we destroy this potentiality. But if the raw peanut you put in the ground, sprout, it will come. That means you have still attachment. You will have to come back. That is the way Vedanta explains this reincarnation. Very, very beautiful example. Shukha Jivatma. We have two questions. One is, when we leave this body? We are supposed to leave all the connections with the body, so what will go with us? This Prakriti, nature, where it goes. Second, in this body we did some virtuous deeds, some evil things also we have done. Where do they go? In that connection comes the theory of reincarnation. I told you many times about the Sukshma Sharira. The subtle body consists of 17 limbs, 5 organs of action, 5 organs of knowledge, 5 pranas, 15, mind and buddhi, mind and intellect. These 17 limbs constitute the subtle body. The subtle body is the seed for the next life. Buddha says after illumination, I shall not allow you to make another home. Do you know how? Why? I destroyed my desire. I have no desire. You know, in Nirvana and Mukti, the difference between Buddha and Shankara. Buddha, what did he do? He burned the ego. And what did Shankara do? He took the ego and pushed it inside the Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. With that mantra, he took his ego and boom, that is the positive way. And Buddha, what did he do? He just burned the ego. And just keep quiet. Brahma, Atma, he did not want to say. Just burn the ego. That is Nirvana, according to Buddhism. Swami Vivekananda said, religion. We are all hypnotized. Religion, Vedanta, de-hypnotize us. What is de-hypnotize? I am Chetanananda, I am Swami, I am a minister here. That is hypnotization. How to de-hypnotize? I am Brahman. I am neither the body, nor the mind, nor the senses. I negate everything which can come into human concept. I am Brahman. That is called hypnotization, G superimposition. Next verse. Shrutram chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam ghranameva cha odhisthaya manaschayam vishayan upasevate. Presiding over the ear, the eye, the sense of touch, of taste and of smell, as also the mind, he experiences sense objects. The Jivatma. A Jivatma, who is the enjoyer? Who is the doer? Who is the experiencer in this world? It is Jivatma. Karta, Bhokta. How does he enjoy? With the senses and the mind. That is the way we enjoy this world. We have 5 organs of knowledge. Through the eyes we see, through the ears we hear, through the nose we smell, through the tongue we taste, and through the skin we touch. These are the 5 ways all these human beings are experiencing this whole world. Of course, mind must be there behind. Mind is the king of all the senses. So, Jivatma enjoys. Next verse says, Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudha nanupashyanti pashyanti ganajakshusha. Beautiful. Beautiful words. While transmigrating from one body to another, or residing in the same, experiencing sense objects, or when united with the gunas, the Jiluja do not see him, but those who have the eye of wisdom behold him. Perhaps if you remember the chariot analogy in the Katha Upanishad. Here is the chariot. The buddhi is the driver. Mind is the reins. Horses are the senses. And the road is the sense objects. And who is the person, who is the traveler, who is the person in the chariot? Atma. See, Atma is, for this Atma, all these things are function. That the Atman is unattached, seated there. So in the Dehu, this body is a chariot. If the buddhi is very good, mind is very well controlled, and the senses organs are well trained, your horse carriage will take to your destination. Otherwise, there will be an accident. But we do not see the owner of this house. That is our problem. We see the house, but we do not see the owner, the Atman. If you want to see the Atman, Krishna says, you need Jnana Chakshusha, the wisdom eye, knowledge eye. Tritiya Chakshu, third eye. Manas Chakshu, mental eye. Dibba Chakshu, divine eye. Antas Chakshu, inner eye. Same thing has all these names. How to open that eye? That comes through meditation. The more you meditate and focus inside your heart, your knowledge eye will open. You will see a different world. You see, as I already said, that we perceive the world through the 5 senses, all of us. But through meditation, we develop 6th sense. That is called Jnana Chakshu. Swamiji said that. If you have 6 organs, instead of 5 organs of knowledge, if you have 6 organs of knowledge, you will see world differently. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam cha gunanitam. Utkramantam. When we depart from this body, everything is happening due to that Atman consciousness. Swami Chetanananda wrote, I shall read that part to him about his writing, his correspondence with Sir Julian Huxley. This is a beautiful verse. I quoted this verse in my letter to Sir Julian Huxley in reply to his letter on my book, Message of the Upanishads. He replied, we cannot accept a reincarnation. He had written in that letter, in the Katha Upanishad, the subject comes, I had quoted it there. He had read it. His contention was, our science cannot accept reincarnation. We can accept that there is something surviving the death of the body, but that it takes another body is not acceptable because there is no genetic continuity. The scientists accept only the genetic system. A father has assigned a genetic packet to his son, and thus it goes on. And we accept survival. But science cannot accept a reincarnation. I replied to him explaining the whole thing and quoted this particular verse. When the soul or jiva leaves this body, or when the soul lives in the body and enjoys the various sense objects composed of the 3 gunas, we can see that the soul is there experiencing all this. But for that, you must have a jnana chakshu, the eye of knowledge. With these gross eyes, you cannot see the truth. In all physical sciences, we use the gross physical eyes, the fleshy eyes, helped by the mind. But when we develop a jnana chakshu and thereby penetrate nature and discover the truth that is hidden there, we become capable to comprehend this truth. That this table or chair is composed of various particles like protons, electrons, and so on, is a truth that is not given to us by our fleshy eye. That is given by the jnana chakshu. Some penetrating eye you must have, and that is indispensable in science. Now, let me tell you, Maharaj wrote very nicely that how the science and this thing. You see, physical science is a science. Spiritual science is also a science. Spiritual science. I remember the conversation between a monk and a scientist. Both are classmates. Swami Chetanananda and I think Meghnad Shah or Gyanprakash Ghosh. Anyhow, he was a very famous scientist, and Swami Chetanananda was monk. So the scientist friend came to visit him in the monastery and asked, you know, your religion is all bogus. You close your eyes, Lord knows what you are seeing. Religion. But look at my science. I can prove everything. I can demonstrate in my lab. Then Swami answered, you know, I really appreciate your comment about religion. Do you see that Indian farmer who is plowing? Zero education. Can you teach him the latest development of nuclear physics? Can you explain nuclear physics to that man who has no education at all? He said, yes. He will have to come to school, college, university, and science lab, and slowly, I can teach him what is called latest development of nuclear physics. Swami said, Same answer to you. You leave your home, come to the monastery and meditate with me day after day, month after month, year after year. You will know, your third eye will open and you will see what is the truth. It is a different science. Science is connected with the created things of the world. But religion, spirituality is connected with the uncreated, Brahman. Different science. And when sometimes people come and argue with me, I laugh. Why should I misuse my time and energy to argue with a person who has no background? Reading from here and there and bombarding some words. Reincarnation. Nowadays I heard that nearly 53 or 54% of American people believe in reincarnation. Nowadays people do not bury, they cremate. I remember one or two devotees in Los Angeles, husband was buried, wife was cremated. And the wife's ashes, they have a place to put in an urn and buried there. I was asking, I went to perform what is called funeral service in a mortuary in Los Angeles. So I was asking, how much do you charge for the cremation? $20,000. The land, and they bought it for many years ago. They put the body there with the coffin, $20,000. I used to hear some advertisement also, Forest Lawn Mortuary. There I went to conduct a memorial service of a famous man. He was the president of the Civil Liberties Union. His wife was very fond of me. But Swami, you will have to conduct a Vedanta service. And one Jewish rabbi and one Catholic priest, with 3 people conducted the service. I thought somebody's prayer will work. I used to watch him. He used to sit outside and he was always smoke the churut, and his wife is inside the temple. In Hollywood. Reincarnation. I remember I had a friend, he was an actor in Hollywood. He used to play badminton with me. One day I said, Byron, I cannot play today. Why, Swami? I'll have to work on my lecture. What is your topic? Reincarnation. Swami, you don't need any preparation. I go, why? You just see my Toyota car. It ran through Freeway 101, then it becomes old, smashed, sent back to Japan, recycled, again came as a Toyota, again ran Freeway 101, again smashed, went back to Japan. Swami, American people understand recycling. You don't need any preparation. Tell my car story, that will be enough. Funny. Yatanto yoginasyainam pashyanti atmanyavasthitam yatanto pi akritatmano nainam pashyanti achetashah. The yogis striving for perfection behold him dwelling in oneself. But the unrefined and unintelligent, even those striving, see him not. Vedantic method. You really want to start your spiritual journey, first do nishkam karma, unselfish action. What will it do? It will purify your mind. That is the first stage. In the second stage, upasana. Practice japam, meditation, sthaji, all these things. What will it do? Upasana. Chitta ekagram. It will sharpen your focus. It will bring your mind one-pointed. Second stage. Third stage, Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. Listening, hearing, reflecting, and meditating. This way you can have realization of the Atman. That he is talking about. Jatanto yogina shainam. The person who is striving, the yogi who is striving to see Atman inside. This is the way. Jara akrita atmana, molin chitto, impure mind, abhiveki, doesn't have good discrimination, they cannot make it. That is up to 11. Next 4 verses, Krishna is talking about his vibhuti, his power, splendor. You see, God is revealing himself to us so that we can understand him. When Ramakrishna says, one day I found the Sachidananda came out from my body and said, in every age I am an avatar. He is telling his divinity. He is telling us who he was, Rama, he was Krishna, verily in this body is Ramakrishna. He is revealing, he is telling us who is he. So if you want to know God, you will have to realize God, you will have to know him. How can we know God? God himself is telling us, this is the way you can know. And this is my real nature. Look what he says. Jat adityagatam teju jagad bhasayati akhilam jat chandramasi jas chagnau tat tejo vidhi mamakam. Beautiful verse. The light which is residing in the sun illuminates the whole world, and also which is in the moon and in the fire. Know that light to be mine. Sunlight. What does the sunlight do? The sunlight gives us food, energy. What does the moonlight do? Water. And Agni, fire, which digests our food. This God is not outside, it is also inside. That Krishna will tell us nature. Arjuna is telling, I saw your kshara, perishable form, in the 11th chapter, the cosmic form. And I saw your kshetriga form, kutastha, Chaitanya, that form in the 13th chapter. And in the 15th chapter, I want to see your Purushottama form, Supreme Purusha. Let me give an example so that you can visualize it. Here is a chisel, here is a canvas with frame. Canvas. Nothing is there. Only canvas. That is Akshara, Kuchastha Chaitanya, Nirgun Brahma. Only canvas. Then on that canvas we see trees, mountain, ocean, birds, beasts, human beings. All those things we see on that canvas. That is the Kshara Rupa, the form of this universe that we see there. Then when I shall talk to you, you can visualize. Canvas, there is nothing. Only, it is just like a movie show. When you go to see a movie, what do you see? You see the big screen. And behind, the projector. The celluloid, that film, and there is a electricity that will rotate, and all these pictures will be on the screen. We see there is a fire, but touch, the screen is not burned. We see heavy rain on the screen, but it is not wet. We see somebody is murdered. You go there is nobody. That is the way we try to understand this Vedanta. This Jeev Jagat, this universe, murder, play, marriage, children, home, car, all these things are on that canvas. And they are continuously rotating, this movie. This is the world. In other Upanishad we find Krishna says, Na tatra surya bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto emogni tameva bhantam anuvati sarvam taisya vasa sarvamidam vibhati. Or the sun shines not the moon, not the stars. What to speak of this mortal fire? When Atman shines, everything shines after it. So all knowledge, consciousness comes from the Atman. That is the truth. What you are supposed to do? Know thyself, that you are the Atman. Then you will be free. And if you limit yourself with your ego, your individuality, you will be recycled. Simple. We will be recycled if we have attachment, ignorance. Light applies. Jyotisha Jyoti. Next verse. Gamabhishya cha bhutani dharayami aham ojasa pushnami cha aushadhi sarva soma bhutva rasatmaka. Entering the earth with my energy, I support all beings and I nourish all the herbs, becoming the watery moon. Gamabhishya Bhutani dharami aham ojasa. Tat srishtva tadevanu pravishat. In Taittiriya Upanishad says that Shagun Brahman, when he becomes Shagun, he created this universe and he entered. In Taittiriya Upanishad says it entered through the crown in human beings. Anyhow, what he was talking about, we see this world. It is so systematic. The wind is blowing, the rain is giving water, this earth is giving food, crops, trees, plants. The season is changing. The sun is rising and setting. The moon is rising and setting, appearing, disappearing. You know, in this world, everything is going on in a very, very systematic way. Who is doing all these things? If there is a creation, there must be a creator. This chair was created, there must be a carpenter. This body was created, there must be a creator. My parents gave this body. So, we see this is the way he is saying, that Om Ojosa, my tej, my power, my energy, is saturated in this whole universe and all beings. It is my energy. Krishna says, if all the trees, plants, fruits are growing, the crops are growing, all my power, my energy is behind. Everything is going very systematically. Aham Ojosa. Next verse. Aham Vaishyanara Bhutva Praninam Deham Pranapano Samayukta Pachamyannam Chaturbidam. This verse, sometimes the Himalayan monks memorize this verse. Do you know why? When they have any stomach problem, they recite this mantra. Aham Vaishyanara Bhutva. Krishna says, God says, I am Vaishyanara, the god of fire. Praninam dehom ashrita, I enter in the human body. What do I do? Through prana and apana, through this energy, I digest 4 kinds of food they eat. Pachamanam Chodurveda, Chorbo, Chosha, Lejja, Peo. There are 4 kinds of food we eat. Chorbo, some food we masticate, we bite. Chosha means we lick. Lejja. Chorbo, Chosha, Lejja, Peo. Peo means we drink. And Chosha is, what is it? Chorbo, Chosha. Chorbo, Chosha, Lejja, Peo. Chorbo, Chabano, Chusha, Chosha, Lejja. Oh, licking. We lick some food. So there are 4 ways, with these 4 kinds of food we eat. We understand when we eat the food, how many calories are coming, and starch, and protein, and all those things, we understand. But Jodavigyan knows that these are the food that is going to your system, how much sugar and how much salt, all those things you can measure. But who digests this food? Oh, you don't know. You know, really speaking, our digestive system, circulatory system, cardiovascular system, these systems, who is doing, we do not know. They go on unconsciously. I am not conscious how my food is digesting in my system, or is it breathing. I think it is normal, natural. That Krishna says, I do these things. You eat all this pachamannam chadurbidam. I remember one Himalayan monk has a terrible stomach problem. He was put his hand and rubbing over his belly and repeating this mantra. Oh Lord, you say that you digest everything, now digest my food. In the dualistic school says, Har karo, muni karo, ahuti de shamamake. When you eat, think that I am offering it to the Divine Mother. Next verse. Sarvasya chaha mriti sannivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanancha vedasya sarvai ahameva veddo vedanta krit veda videv saham. Well, then I think I shall stop it. that will connect with the next verse, the next things. This verse we will have to study in a very thoroughly. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. I dwell in the hearts of every human being. God is dwelling within us, we do not know Him. He is telling, I am beside you. But we do not understand. We do not listen. We do not listen this message of the Gita. We shall talk about it in our next Gita class. Matma me shuddhantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Antaratma me shuddhantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Paramatma me shuddhantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May my body become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my mind become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my soul become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. Next week our lecture will be Thus I have heard about Holy Mother. It is an interesting topic. So give us a little time, then we shall go to Zoom. Thank you.